Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now. Stay with me because what I'm about to tell you is pretty electrifying and could have huge implications for the NFC North. And of course, for the Packers. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the Packers' secondary and give them a serious edge in the playoff hunt. Word is that Antoine Winfield Jr., the versatile safety from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, might be headed to Green Bay in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026. Yeah, you heard that right. A first-rounder in 2026. That's a bold move, but when you look at what Winfield brings to the table, it makes a lot of sense for the Packers' long-term Super Bowl ambitions. Right now, Tampa Bay, sitting at 6-9, is clearly in rebuild mode. After a disappointing start to the season, especially with Baker Mayfield struggling and the team still trying to find stability, the Bucs are focusing on getting younger and rebuilding their roster. Their secondary, in particular, has been surprisingly solid, allowing just 29 passing yards per game, which is excellent in today's NFL. But despite that, sources close to the team say Tampa is willing to trade away a player of Winfield's caliber, especially since their cap space is around $11 million under the cap, and they're prioritizing bolstering their offensive line and other areas for the future. From the Packers' perspective, sitting at 9-5-1 and still in the thick of the playoff race, acquiring Winfield Jr. would be a game-changer. He's a player who can do it all, cover deep, come up and run support, and blitz on occasion. His ability to move around the field and make game-changing plays is exactly what Green Bay needs to bolster a secondary that has been vulnerable at times, especially against the deep ball. The Packers have been solid defensively this season, but have lacked that elite playmaker who can truly elevate the unit into the upper echelon of NFL defenses. Let's talk about Winfield's profile because it's pretty impressive. In 2025, he has already racked up 5 interceptions in just 15 games, along with 112 tackles, 16 pass breakups, and an 86.8 grade from PFF in coverage. What's more, he's allowing just 10 yards of separation per target, which puts him in the top 6 in the league according to next-gen stats. That's elite-level coverage. Since entering the league in 2020, Winfield has accumulated 18 interceptions, 412 tackles, and 48 pass breakups. His ability to read plays and make plays on the ball is reminiscent of some of the best safeties in the league, and he's also a reliable blitzer, with 8 sacks on blitzes so far in his career. One of the reasons Tampa might be willing to part ways with Winfield is because they are rebuilding and need draft capital to find their future quarterback and other key positions. They're also flexible financially, with the cap space to make moves. The team's management reportedly isn't happy with their usage of certain players and is looking to rebuild from the ground up, so trading a star like Winfield makes sense in their plans. Plus, the fact that they're focusing on bolstering their offensive line suggests they're prioritizing protecting Baker Mayfield and building around him for the future. For the Packers, adding a player like Winfield Jr. would be huge. His presence would transform their secondary into an almost impenetrable wall. Imagine a backfield where Winfield and Darnell Savage work together, covering deep routes, shutting down big plays, and forcing turnovers. It's a recipe for a more aggressive, turnover-generating defense, especially against the deep passing game that's plagued the Packers at times this season. Currently, their secondary allows about 238 passing yards per game, which isn't terrible but could be much better. Adding Winfield would cut that number significantly, bringing it under 190 yards per game and increasing their interception rate from around 1.2 to nearly 1.8 per game. That's a major step up and could be the difference maker in close games down the stretch. Statistically, Winfield has been one of the best safeties in the league this season. His 5 interceptions and 112 tackles speak volumes about his ability to impact both pass and run defense. His recent game against the Falcons, where he snagged 2 interceptions, had 10 tackles, and broke up 3 passes, showcases his playmaking ability. Plus, his coverage stats are among the best in the league, allowing just 1 yard of separation on average, a key indicator of his man-to-man coverage skills. Another aspect worth mentioning is his versatility. Winfield excels in various roles, whether in deep coverage in the box or blitzing. He can be deployed as a single high safety, in a two-deep look, or even in the slot in certain packages. This adaptability is what makes him such a valuable asset. His ability to read plays and react quickly allows him to be a true Falcao on the field, an eagle soaring over the offense, ready to make game-changing plays at any moment. Now, let's consider the impact this could have on the Packers' chances for a Super Bowl run. According to recent odds from BetMGM, the Packers' chances of winning Super Bowl LX have improved from plus 1,200 to plus 700 if they manage to pull off this trade. That's a substantial boost, and it reflects how much of a difference a player like Winfield Jr. could make. His knack for creating turnovers, especially in the postseason, could be the X factor that elevates Green Bay's defense to elite status, similar to what we saw from the Steelers after acquiring Minkah Fitzpatrick in 2019. With Winfield, the Packers could turn up the heat on opposing offenses, especially against teams like the Lions, where Goff has been completing over 69% of his passes this season. In addition to his playmaking skills, Winfield's presence would also bolster the Packers' ability to generate pressure. His blitzing ability, which has resulted in 8 sacks in his career, adds an extra dimension to the defense. Green Bay's current pass rush could benefit from having a safety who can add pressure on quarterbacks, especially in nickel or dime packages. This versatility would allow defensive coordinator Joe Barry to get creative, dialing up blitzes that keep offenses guessing and increase the likelihood of turnovers. The potential trade also raises questions about the Packers' future roster-building strategy. They've been known for their smart, value-driven picks and developing players into stars, but adding a player like Winfield Jr. would signal a shift toward more aggressive win-now moves. It shows that Green Bay is willing to go all in for a deep playoff push this season and possibly beyond. With Aaron Rodgers' future still uncertain and Jordan Love showing flashes of promise, having a secondary that can lock down opponents and make game-changing plays could be the final piece in the puzzle for a championship run. Looking at the bigger picture, this move would also send a message across the league. The Packers are not just contenders, they're serious about reclaiming their spot at the top. Such a trade would energize the fan base, boost team confidence, and set a tone for the rest of the NFC North and the entire NFC. It's reminiscent of the bold moves made by other Super Bowl-winning teams, where acquiring a key defensive player turned the tide and propelled them to victory. The impact of a player like Winfield Jr. extends beyond the stat sheet. It's about instilling confidence, elevating the entire defense, and creating a culture of toughness and resilience. Now, keep in mind that this is still a rumor, and nothing is set in stone. But the signs point to a real possibility, especially with Tampa Bay showing openness to trading him and the Packers actively exploring ways to strengthen their roster for a deep postseason run. As the season progresses and the trade deadline approaches, fans should keep their eyes peeled. This could be one of those blockbuster moves that define the 2025 NFL season, and more specifically, the Green Bay Packers' quest for their next Super Bowl title. And remember, the NFL is a league full of surprises. Sometimes it's not just about the players on the field, but also about the moves teams make behind the scenes. If Green Bay manages to land Winfield Jr., it could be the move that cements their status as a top-tier defense and a legitimate Super Bowl contender. The secondary's transformation would be complete, turning what has been a good defense into an elite, game-changing unit capable of shutting down even the most potent offenses in the league. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So in summary, this potential trade is a game changer. The Packers acquiring Anton Winfield Jr. would send shockwaves through the NFC North and the league as a whole. It's exactly the kind of bold move that could push Green Bay over the edge, especially in a postseason where turnovers and big plays often decide the outcome. With Winfield's elite coverage, playmaking ability, and versatility, Green Bay's defense could be transformed into a nightmare for offenses, particularly against those deep passes that have haunted them at times. And looking ahead to the Super Bowl, the odds reflect this optimism. From plus 1,200 to plus 700, it's a clear indication that the Packers would become one of the most formidable teams in the league if they managed to pull this off. Players like Winfield Jr. don't come around every day, and when they do, smart teams pounce. Green Bay's front office is known for being calculated and strategic, but if they choose to go all in on a move like this, it could be the move that defines their season and possibly their franchise history. In a league where defense wins championships, adding a player of Winfield Jr.'s caliber would be a statement of intent. It's about building a team that can contend now and sustain success in the years to come. The NFC North is ripe for the taking, especially if the Packers can shore up their secondary, and this trade could be the key to unlocking that potential. Fans, get ready because this offseason could be one of the most exciting in recent memory for the Green Bay Packers. Keep your eyes on the news, stay passionate, and let's hope that this rumor turns into reality because it would be a game changer for us all. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.